Let's continue to the button section. Buttons in Java, they are used to listen to events. For example, if any action is performed, the button will listen to that action or to that event. So this is our GUI frame, which we created initially. We will be adding components, or we will be demonstrating how to add components using this frame oftenly in these sessions. So just like other components, or just like the J panel and the J frame, a J button can be created by instantiating the J button class. How do we do that? We say J button, we give our button a name. Let me say button1 equals to new J button. So we can give our button a title from here, like we did to the J frame. Or we can use the .setTitle method to give it a title. So I already demonstrated that in the J frame. So this time round, I'll give it a title from here. We will need also to give our button dimensions, or to set bounds for our button. I'll say jbutton1.setBounds. Let me make it 100 from the left margin, 100 top margin, 100 width, and okay, let me make 150 width and 50 height. Also note that we can give it a background color like other components. Let's set background. Let me pass in what should I pass in? Let me say color dot. Let me say dot gray, and we see the gray. Or let me give it the pink one to make it more visible. So after customizing our button, we will need to add it to the frame so that we make it visible. We say frame.add. This will take in a component which is our button1. Which will take in our button1. So I'll copy this button1 to pass it in here in the .add component of our frame. I will run to see the output. Currently, this is our button. It is pink, but when we click it, it is not doing anything. Why? Because we are not listening to the events on this button. So let me listen to the events on this button so that it becomes functioning. To listen to events, we will get the name of this button, and then we add an action listener. So I will say .add action listener, and we will pass in a new action listener. We will first import the action listener to our project, and after that, we will need to implement all abstract methods of this action listener. For now, I'll comment this out to get out all the errors, and I'll press enter. So now we are listening for any action which is performed on this button. For example, if this button is clicked, we can be able to implement something. For example, let me say if this button is clicked, we will display a message saying that the button is clicked. I'll use the print line, which takes in a string. So I'll say button clicked. So I'll display this in our console or in our output here once you click on the button. So let me run this again. This is our program. This is our button. Once I click this button, you must see that here it will be displaying, or it will be outputting a message showing that it is clicked. So when I click on it, it will show you button clicked. Let me click again, and again it will show you. So this means that our button is listening for any event which is happening. So we can add any logic. Let me close this. We can add any logic here which will have to be executed or to be performed anytime this button is clicked. So for example, if you want to check for a user and log him out or log him in when he accesses our program, you can add that logic here so that every time that button is pressed, that logic will be executed. So let me format to arrange our code. So basically, these are the basics of the JButton.